was a good time. But yeah, Rose, look, London versus Spitfire, Atlanta Reign celebrating a birthday, and maybe the Atlanta Reign fans celebrating someone playing today. We'll have to wait and see. London Spitfire currently sitting in 6th place currently in the qualifiers, and Atlanta Reign sitting at 7th. So both teams pretty close.
Yeah, and this is the halfway point of the Summer Showdown qualifiers, and so you know you're looking at who is getting those 3 wins under their belt to still be a part of the conversation of whether or not they even get a chance to make it to the tournament. And so this match is huge for both of these teams. London Spitfire really want to try to secure themselves as a part of the conversation, and Atlanta Reign, they're struggling to kind of keep up right now, Jaws.
Yeah, they are 1 and 2, and London are 2 and 1, even though they do sit close to each other. But I think a lot of teams coming into this meta have struggled just a little bit. I mean, the Junker Queen, kind of like snowball, deathball kind of comp.
Right.
A little bit trickier than some might think. But, you know, Atlanta Reign, they still can bounce back. You know, they got, I'm not going to say it, but I want to say it so bad. They got the talent, okay? They got the talent.
The talent is
It's
there.
very doable.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
I mean,
right.
they already picked up on Kai versus Backbone, Kai versus Sparker. Sorry, in the head-to-head at the beginning of the show, and I think that's an important point to think about because Sojourns have been crazy impactful. Just getting those first initial picks is just devastating for any comp on the receiving end.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's a great point to talk about when you look at just the Junker Queen meta as a whole and what we expect to see from all of the teams that are competing in the qualifiers. You know, you're going to see the Junker Queen. Those DPS may change around a little bit, but it's usually the Genji and the Sojourn, and of course, to round that out, usually it's the Brigitte and the Lucio, but you know, sometimes we see the Ashe, sometimes we see the Ana. You know, there's just some really nice niche picks that can be made in order to make that composition work for an individual team and play style. But it's not about the DPS popping off. It's also about the follow-up, and I think that's something that London Spitfire really does have in spades to back up the fact that they do have this 2-1 record right now.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's been nice to see London also kind of mold the comp a little bit around what they like to play. I remember watching a Christopher interview, I believe, with Yiska. And just in general, it feels like London very much playing off what Christopher was talking about and like playing your own kind of style of things. We saw that from London a lot earlier on with the Rush comp, and when a lot of people just weren't running Rush, and London found like crazy success. I mean, they're 10 and 5 right now in the overall standings for regular season. Like, and seeing people like Backbone jump on the Mei when they can, I mean, it's been great. But Mei doesn't work everywhere. But when it does, London do really well.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, you're going to see Backbone as a part of the starting lineup for London Spitfire today, alongside the regular faces that we have come to expect from the London Spitfire. Of course, Hadi leading the charge there with the Junker Queen. But I love that you brought up that Backbone does have that flexibility. Sometimes it is going to be that Mei. We've seen Sparker also, not just on the Sojourn, but sometimes on that Soldier 76, although a little less than late because of what this meta does require. But really, to me, Jaws, it's about Admiral and Landon in that backline who have just been a consistent synergistic force for London that have been so reliable for the team.
Yeah, that's what you need in this meta, along with a lot of other things, of course. So a good Sojourn, good Genji, good Junker Queen and stuff. But yeah, the backline is always something to kind of look at. Sometimes they're a little bit invisible in this comp. You know, they're not going crazy picking up a load of kills. Although Violet and I guess Funny Astro would have to say something about that. They're racking up a lot of kills as like Lucio players.
Yeah.
But the Brig dying is like the worst possible scenario for your team. And the Lucio's job is to kind of escort the Brig around, making sure she stays safe. You've got 2 forms of boop to get the DPS or the Junker Queen out of your face with the whip shot and the right click on the Lucio. So yeah, having a backline that is played for so long together is super important. Let's have a look at the Atlanta Reign though. Who is starting today? Is it going to be the legendary Speedly? Yes, of course it is. This is the day Atlanta Reign fans have been waiting for. The day Speedly is eligible to play, one of the most hype Western rookies to come in to the scene. And yeah, we might be, what, almost halfway through the year, but having Speedly come in and play something like the Genji, this is maybe what Atlanta Reign need to turn their qualifiers around.
Yeah, and I think this is a really important match here for Speedily to perform well in, so I hope that's not going to be too much pressure. But with the history between London Spitfire and Atlanta Reign for this season alone, Atlanta have yet to find a win against the London Spitfire. So maybe Speedily is the secret to their success here today. I mean, just look at the accolades that Speedily has acquired over his time in Contenders.
Yeah, and there should be a lot of familiar names there. Bobby Wasabi, American Tornado, even second win back in 2020, XL2 Academy back in 2019. Jeez.
Yeah.
That was a long time in ancient history at this point. But like, it shows the consistency from Speedily as well, right? Performing very well in 2019. We are now in 2022. Over the last 3 years, literally building and waiting to join the league and then waiting to be eligible to play in the league. Like, it has been a long time coming.
Yeah, I'm so excited to see how Speedily is able to make his debut in the league. And also, you know, just how we continue to see Vigilante and OG working together in that backline. There's so many different pieces that we can look at for this particular match, but eyes are definitely on Speedily right now to see if he can, you know, live up to the hype, the expectations. But hopefully, again, it's not too much pressure. We have definitely seen rookie debut performances be successful. I think King on Vancouver Titans is one of those. Speedily, I'm sure, can follow that up.
Okay. Nepal, our first mat, Midtown Junktown Coliseum Oasis if we really need it. Despite, like, the scoreline, that, like I mentioned before, they're quite close, 6th and 7th right now. And in fact, there's a lot of teams on 1 and 2 for the qualifiers, the Summer Showdown, which is a little bit insane. Of course, we'll start to see breakaways at this point. Actually, Rose, something we should probably mention. Vigilante is also starting for the Atlanta Reign alongside OG. So no Ultraviolet in for the Reign right now. Vigilante, look, he came over from the Washington Justice. And again, maybe another piece. Oh my God, of course. Of course, there's a pause. Why wouldn't there be when we're casting? You get back from your trip and then we jump into the first game. Yep. It's casting this weekend. And
pauses and
here's a pause.
That's what we're all about, baby.
Seriously. Seriously. It is a little bit spooky at this point. I'm not sure why.
It's our fault.
I may have, maybe Seth gave me the pause bug or something. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Seth was the pause king at one point.
It's true.
His surname is King too.
No, it's still his fault. It's always Seth's fault when we have a pause.
True.
Don't worry about it.
I blamed everything that has gone wrong in my life on Mr. Achilleos King. Yeah, okay, let's talk about Vigilante for a second then. We're not having Ultraviolet come in. Ultraviolet and OG came into the Atlanta Reign at the beginning of this year. Yep. Vigilante only just joining the team. But that's quite exciting because Vigilante's brig, it's been looking rather sharp. And the Washington Justice, before having this roster shuffle, I suppose, with their players and trimming down the roster, they looked pretty good. And Vigilante was one of those keys to success that they found.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it speaks a lot to the talent that was, you know, moved around from the Washington Justice roster, that most of them found homes immediately. You know, they were all trades to another team, and Vigilante for sure is one of those players that I think can slot into the Atlanta Reign roster really nicely. You know, the one thing that I do have a question about is we're looking at two pretty new pieces, at least in a debut sense, of Speedily and Vigilante. So, you know, is it gonna work? I knew this was coming. I saw this in the chat.
Yeah.
That's why I kept talking.
Yeah. Man. Okay, it seems to be maybe a small problem on the Atlanta Reign side. Hawk calling for another pause, but hopefully they'll be ready to get in just a moment. Do apologize for the brief wait. Like I said, always does happen to us. Weirdly enough, but we did see the comps quickly roll out, Rose. Yeah. And London Spitfire, weirdly enough, they want to try and play their own version of this Junk Queen comp on maps that permit it. So they're running the May on Village.
And I'd love to talk about this a bit more because I think that London Spitfire is one of those teams that's never been afraid to play something that's a bit more in their comfort zone. I mean, the fact that they forced the rush and May is such a key piece of that, you got to look at that and go, can Atlanta Reign actually play around this enough? The desk talked about how London Spitfire seems to be Atlanta Reign's Achilles heel, and it has a lot to do with how London play around these different rush pieces to really change up the flavors of these comps. And May, I think, just adds that extra element of being able to play cohesively as a group that London Spitfire have been able to capitalize on really well this season so far.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly that. They've done super well with the May in previous metas, or like the rush that they were setting up with. We are just getting back into the game, or like should be in just a moment. I do apologize. It's nothing we can do, sadly. But as soon as all the problems are ironed out, should be good to go. Yeah, a part of me is like, man, I kind of wish it was Kai and Backbone in the same role, like the hit scan role. Because then it'd be two British boys facing off against each other, which would be kind of sweet. There's Backbone versus Speedly. Backbone's also been incredibly impressive on a lot of picks. His May, his Genji's been looking better.
Yeah.
I thought when the Junker Queen comp came out and we saw Backbone Genji, it did look kind of meh, but over the last couple of games,
rusty.
it's been looking. Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
And that's maybe because they've been playing the May and this rush comp.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Is, you know, Backbone actually is well known for the Genji. I mean, the May I think a bit more so, because that's just a bit more comfortable and kind of necessary for the compositions and teams that Backbone has played on historically. But the Genji, you're right on the money there, Jack. I think that it has started to look way better. But Speedily is also known for the Genji, so that's another DPS versus DPS I'm really excited about.
Let's take a look at some of the best plays from last week, though. We are still in the pause. I'm gonna, hopefully, after this, we'll be in game.
It's time for week 2 of the Summer Showdown qualifiers.
Everybody's been beating everybody. The upsets have been in full swing. You have to kind of bait to walk forward, though, because even if you want to Blade here, first of all, he's outpaced the supports, which is very nice, not just Becky here. Importantly, you have to get past the Rally and the Sound Barrier, but you need to make sure the Valley are committed in a way that you can chase them down.
Okay, this time he does not wait to pull the blade. He pulls it immediately, and it's 4 swift kills in the blink of an eye. Zest shutting him down. That's half the time bank now drained away as he nearly comes up
forward
with the team kill. And they're looking for some more.
Becky got
You're going to be able to take that
forward.
one. Yep. He yoinks him right back out into the open.
Monk's gone. Zest being the one to take them out. There's Fury's Doomfist coming into the fight. Lee hiding at the back with the overclock. I don't think they're going to be able to do anything here.
Where's Gaga?
Going to have to expend that. Wait, Jinmu just took out Aim God. Jinmu again finds Fury? Jinmu's keeping the team alive. Zest takes out Leave. 20 seconds remaining. This is going to be one hell of an assault coming in from the Hunters. They got Gaga's Rampage. If Gaga goes down, this is going to be disastrous for them. They might not get back in time. Jinmu is back in this fight again. They cleaned it up. They didn't even have to use that pivotal ultimate, and they're back on their points.
I mean, goodness, Jinmu really clutched that fight.
Figured out how to break the meta even further. It turns out all you need is a profit on Brigitte. Blade now going to be pulled out. Nisha taken down by Bithane. The bomb will even get involved. The coach gun to take out Jinmu, and it is such a swift cleanup.
Did you see a Sound Barrier? Because I didn't. I think that was an Ajax from Nisha, sadly.
I think he got Ajaxed.
Oh, here it is. Oh, what a boot!
And what the hell was that? Bithane booping him further up into the air and then dragging down.
Just give him the trophy. Just.
They win. They win the season. It's over. We don't need to play out the rest of it.
I don't care anymore. Vindame is the Rookie of the Year.
Rally out from Irony. The ante from the Rampage only catching 2. Bernard, a little bit of pressure, but now can be healed. An Architect finds Fitz. Blade pulled out immediately. Gets in, finds Prophet, finds Smurf, and it seems like we are not done yet. Architect
huge,
picking up 4 eliminations with the Blade itself. Otherwise, I believe just completely aces the squad. And that is going to be the cap now on to point B.
When the Sigma comps were a thing, you would either take 2 fights, like fight on the first corner and then fight on the last, but a lot of teams just held on this last corner before this point. Oh, Victoria, 13 HP. Someone pack him, please. Oh, no, that's so unlucky.
I feel like this,
dude,
this map...
Look at him go!
I mean...
Like, look at this guy go. Like, 5 kills, just like that in a blink of an eye, quick team kill. This guy's just, he's a freak on the sticks, man.
Take a look at Proper from his POV. 1 dash through 2. Yeah, I mean, this is just... that's just filthy stuff.
Yo, welcome back.
What's up?
Sorry for the pause. Like I said, we're just getting people back into the game by the looks of it. But yeah, it's good. It's good. Look, at the end of the day, think about this. We get all the pauses out the way now, and then we don't have to suffer any for the rest of the weekend. That's exactly how that works. There we go, we're in game. Woo!
Let's
I can stand
go.
up again. I was sitting down. I was lounging. Shouldn't be lounging anymore.
Oh, look at that. Atlanta Reign actually utilized that Symmetra teleporter to get them closer to the point, but I think that one of the things that Atlanta Reign cannot do here is allow London Spitfire to get control first because of the Mei being able to shut off those entry points.
Ooh, gotta be careful. Speedy almost found the kill on Landon, but yeah, London Spitfire playing this perfectly for their comp. Just hiding in a small room, waiting for a wall to do something. Hawk ends up going down to Sparker. It's just the slow to chip away at the Rain health bars as London end up finding the first cap. You can imagine if Speedy did find that kill onto Landon, it would have been a different tale, but not to be.
Yeah, and now London Spitfire, the onus is really on them to kind of keep control of the point. You've got Backbone being able to set up these walls, so Atlanta Reign have to play really carefully to make sure that they don't get walled off or isolated.
Yep, and that's what happens. You just gotta walk into the Thunderdome, and unfortunately there's a wall behind you, so you can't leave.
Oh.
The London Spitfire. I mean, this is the kind of map they want, and this is I guess the coin flip or the three-sided dice roll, I suppose, that you have to take when going onto a control map.
True.
That you hope it's a map that you can play the Mei on, and London are rewarded.
I think that honestly, any stage of Nepal, this Mei can really work well here, but the Mei, of course, on Village is one of the best. It's a signature hero of this map, and you're going to be able to see why. Kai gets some love.
2 HP. Now you got packs. Nice movement. But still, the London Spitfire playing their own game right now. Speedily goes down to Sparker. Kai's using that overclock, trying to find targets. He's now jumped in straight into London Spitfire. He's going to be good, though. Does take Sparker down with a railgun, but the London Spitfire, even with losing their Sojourn, they're going to be able to hold on. They've got so many ults for this last fight. The Atlanta Reign have just not had any time to poke away at the London Spitfire. London Spitfire just run out and wall them up and just kill them.
I mean, even when Kai popped the overclock, the way that London Spitfire just stayed out of the way of that line of fire was really impressive. And so London, they do have this full bank of ultimates. They might not even need it, but we'll see.
All right, show me what you got, Speedly. He's going to pull the blade. There's the beat. Deal with that. Hardy just trying to duel out against Vigilante on the side. Speedly does find one kill in Landon, and a rally is invested by the Atlanta Reign. All 4 support ultimates now off the board. Speedy's first blade in the Overwatch League, and his first kill, in fact, is going to be onto a support. Perfect stuff from Atlanta Reign. They do use a lot in that fight, but they got the Rampage to follow up. London Spitfire, they lose control of the point for the first time this series.
Yeah, that was super nice from Speedily as well, though. We've talked about at the top of the show how supports need to be a primary focus for being able to dismantle a team composition. And so, you know, when Speedily went after the backline, Admiral and Landon, their focus was turned towards Speedily and dealing with him rather than keeping the rest of the team alive. So great distraction, great follow-up, and now Atlanta, they can use this Rampage.
Rampage lined up pretty well. Hardy and Admiral and Teed. Admiral can scoot away. Hardy maybe not quite so lucky. Jumps straight on the mega health bag. Does grab it for the Atlanta Reign with a double anti. Should be good after that. Hardy did save his ult though. So okay, Backbone Widowmaker, maybe just for a quick pick. Yep, okay, straight back to Mei. I mean, you could do that now, I suppose, because you retain some of that ult charge, so not the worst thing in the world. Quickly switch there.
Well, I mean, it would have been great, too, if Atlanta Reign had kind of stayed pushed up, and then maybe the Widowmaker gets a quick pick, and that just snowballs for the Spitfire here. But they're going to take this high ground approach, really force Atlanta Reign to play where they want, and oh my gosh.
How does that work? How do the Cheerios do that much damage? That must have been an assist somehow. There's the Rampage looking like a slaughterhouse right now. OG and Hawk, unfortunately, go down. The Atlanta Reign on 70%. Vigilante getting chased. Backbone finishes him off, and overtime is ticking through. Speedy is 5% towards that blade. Can he even touch? No, he cannot. Gets spooked away. And the London Spitfire, they get round 1.
What a huge opening pick for that fight. I mean, that just made it so much easier for London to just follow up on that, get the team wipe, and also just take this first point. I mean, even up to that point, Jaws, they had played so flawlessly that they got that 99% to 0, no problem, before Atlanta Reign ended up taking back control. But this sets themselves up really well. We'll see if they end up adjusting off of the Mei here, but I think it can work as long as London Spitfire get set up and Atlanta don't go with something that might be able to work around the wall. But you can see Speedily actually hovering over the Echo.
Okay, another... Well, we saw the little hype video, right?
Yeah.
Speedily playing a little bit of the Echo. This is sort of what we were seeing at the very start of this meta joining the Overwatch League. Whoa, Vigilante with the... You see him bee-hopping around there, back around long. That was kind of crazy. Yeah, the Echo is just so good at like poking people down. Also a Junker Queen copy. Like, think about how much utility you get as Junker Queen. It's kind of OP, but it's actually getting online first. There's the beam. Ooh! Sheesh! Okay, Backbone just picks him out of the sky with a nice little right click. Speedily almost had Sparker's number. Commanding shout from London, pushing Atlanta Reign off the point. They've still got a lot of damage in Kai, and there you go. Admiral goes down. London still managed to cap, but the Reign now in control of the fight. They just need to chase Hardy away and the rest of the supports, and they should be able to find the flip. Yeah, Hardy's super low. And Kai, okay, did disruptor shot kill, for sure. Not sure where Landon was, but he just died off screen.
I mean, hey, sometimes these disruptor shots, man, they can do some work to put you in a position where Kai can just continue to knock him down. So
he's just locked in. You see that? You see the camera we jumped over to?
Oh yeah, I mean,
sick of losing.
I think so. I think Atlanta Reign, they're really hungry for the win against the London Spitfire, and you're gonna see them really try to be in peak form today. Especially with the Echo too. Let's see how well this can kind of continue to work, especially when you can just get behind the walls that London Spitfire is setting up to poke him from behind.
Kai looking for another headshot. Don't peek him, Backbone. Oh, you see that block there? You saw Kai kind of shooting at him. Maybe predicting the right click, but Kai a little bit more patient on the trigger. Ideally, the Reign here just play it all the way back. They have to bait Backbone in. The London Spitfire's comp so good at kind of walking up to a team and then isolating someone with the wall. Much harder on this point just because the architecture. There's the ultimate from Kai, that railgun charged up. Backbone a little bit of trouble, already popped that ice block. Kai hit a collateral there, but it was only to the body, so it was only a little bit of damage rather than an instant kill. A beat from London, and now a rally maybe to follow up. Lander's going to activate it, but Backbone is already dead. He was 5% away from that Blizzard. That could have been the turning point. Speedy finds 2 kills on the Echo, and the Atlanta Reign are going to be able to run away with this fight. Look at that. A copy on the Junker Queen. Who knew? Oh, who knew? Double commanding shout was pretty good. And a free rampage to boot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you needed it at that point, but Sparker was just free for the pickings right there, trying to retreat to spawn. But now, London Spitfire, with those staggers, they are looking at last fight territory, and Backbone is going to have to get something done with this Blizzard. But OG, I mean, he's such a good Lucio. He could just speed everybody away from it.
Yeah, speed, boot people away. Oh, block already used by Backbone. Blizzard goes down. Who's it catching? Not sure. Vigilante is going to be the target. He's going to be isolated from the rest of his team, but OG comes in with the with some boops to try and save him, but Vigilante don't need saving. He gets chased down, but just handles it quite easily. The London Spitfire now 2 people versus 5 on the point, and Hawk's even got an ultimate. But it doesn't look doable for London now. Overtime is ticking down, and the Atlanta Reign with 100 to 10% on the London Spitfire side. Complete opposite of what happened last round.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that was just how Speedily was able to play this Echo. Not only did we get a great example of how the duplicate onto the Junker Queen can be extra effective with being able to have so many wounds available, the adrenaline rush, and just on top of that, just making sure that you've got that anti-healing for the rest of the team, but also just, I mean, oh, the tracking from Speedily.
Oh, man. I mean, he just transforms into Junker Queen, hits the shout, hits a knife, hits the axe.
Yep.
Weirdly enough, here's a tip for all you Overwatch heads out there. If you hit your abilities, they do a lot of damage.
Ooh.
I know, crazy. Crazy stuff.
Gonna have to try that in my ranked games. Yeah. Thanks for the tip.
I should be a tutorial YouTuber. That's what I should be. Oh, Vigilante. Jesus Christ, okay. I'll shut up then, Sparker, shall I? No worries. I guess Speedily at least goes Backbone first. Sparker starting off like that. It's pretty good for London Spitfire.
Yeah, and I think this is where the Echo might struggle a little bit. You've got this open pit in Sanctum that can be a little difficult to play around. Sure, you have these pillars, but at the end of the day, you really are trying to weave in the focus beam close as possible to make sure you're chunking down these targets. That leaves that Echo very vulnerable.
The burst damage from the sticky bombs, though, so crazy. Uh-oh, yep, Speedy's now in a whole heap of trouble. He does receive a pack and a little bit of healing from the Lucio, but that's just about it. The rest of his team looking like they wanted to back off. Atlanta Reign still in a decent spot. They don't lose anybody else, and they still have a kind of a forward positioning outside of the doorway, Rose.
Oh, look at that too. I mean, Speedily just feels the pressure. Switched over to the Genji almost immediately here after recognizing the Echo wasn't going to find the value with just all this open space. And so I like to see the Speedily Genji once again and see how it's going to contend against Backbone. Backbone's got a bit of an advantage right now with the ult charge.
Yeah, 71% to 42. We'll see if Speedy can catch up. With that kill, he might just do so. Admiral still got that beat. In fact, they do manage to kill Hawk. Well, Spitfire might not need to invest anything else. Atlanta Reign were pressuring the point for just a moment, but after seeing that rally, they end up backing up as they don't have support ultimates for themselves. Speedily in trouble. Uses a reflect, receives a pack and some more healing. But Vigilante got a boop off the map. Landon's off. Admiral now may have to use that beat. If London Spitfire want to try and fight this, there you go, they do decide to. Landon's coming back from spawn, but the Atlanta Reign are more than happy to just beat into the rest of the London Spitfire. Hadi is the main target right now and falls to Speedly as Kai just pumping out the damage from the side. The Atlanta Reign end up winning that fight. Vigilante with the perfect pick onto Landon.
Yeah, that boop, that environmental really did start things off super well. I think we're going to get a replay of it too. Oh, the flail! Right onto Landon. Nice. Yeah, that's got to feel so good, Vigilante being able to get that opening pick like that. But London, they're walking back into this one with a few ults.
Double blade. Backbone's got one, Speedly's got the other. Nice kill onto Landon from Speedly, but Backbone returns it in kind with a kill onto Hawk. London Spitfire went so deep, though. Jeez, straight onto that mega health pack. Was that Junker Queen screaming as she fell off the map?
I think that was that Genji or Junker Queen?
I don't know, sure. But that was a really elongated scream. It sounded kind of horror-esque.
That
was like Phasmophobia or something.
Listen, if you're falling off of wherever this is, like, look how high up you are in the mountain.
Yeah.
I think
that's true.
You could be screaming pretty long too.
Oh, nice boop. Hawk gets booped out of the way, so his Rampage hits nobody. On the reverse side, Hadi hits 3 with his. Speedy Kai and Vigilante long gone. The Atlanta Reign's tank ultimate there completely thwarted by Admiral, or maybe it was Landon. One of the supports did that. The London Spitfire find that fight with ease, and look, 85%. Reign can come back. They got one more fight in them.
They do, but Landon is going to be the first to approach one of these support ultimates, but whoa, okay. We saw the kind of maybe panic pick from Hawk to go over to the Doomfist really fast, but this is still buying time for Landon to get this rally online, and London's just going to kick it off here.
Hawk's isolated, but he doesn't need backup. He's got his fists. Sparker dies, OT is here, so Atlanta Reign have to fight in this small corridor with a person down. They do actually find the flip. It was actually Speedly who got the cap. Vigilante is dead, but they are just buying time right now, and that's perfect if you're the Atlanta Reign. OG and Vigilante are dead, so no heals for the Reign, and London Spitfire do manage to mop up the fight, but Atlanta Reign have garnered a little bit of extra time to come back in. There's Hawk switching over to Doomfist, gets back to trigger overtime, but none of the team are there to back him up. The London Spitfire start off the series strong with a win.
Yeah, really clean from both sides. I mean, they both had their comfort zones, and we could see that when we kind of went from London Spitfire having a dominant performance on Village, and then Shrine going the way of the Atlanta Reign. But Sanctum, that was a tough battle for both of these teams. I think we're in for a good series, Jack.
Yeah, I think so. It's good to see Speedly making his debut. We'll have to see if he stays in. Same with Vigilante, to be fair. We're going on to Hybrid as our next map type. We'll see you in a bit. Midtown is our next map. No substitutions either. So Speedly and Vigilante staying in for the Atlanta Reign. A fairly close affair on Nepal there, Rose. One map was very London, one map was very Atlanta, then the last map, or last round I should say, I suppose, was quite close. Yeah. So we'll see how Midtown ends up panning out for us.
Yeah, especially when I feel like Midtown and just getting into the rest of the maps that are part of the map set this series, you can really play around with some of these more interesting picks that really do help to spice up the Junker Queen composition. Love to see if we get a chance for more Backbone May and maybe more Speedily Echo. Both of those picks just looked so good for either team.
Yeah, the Echo was kind of devastating. Yeah, like I said, who knew? 2 Junker Queens, pretty good. Pretty good. And I mean, the Atlanta Reign, look, this is definitely a good start for them. London have been quite the contender since this year started, honestly. Like, I think a lot of people had them quite low on their power rankings, but they've proven everybody otherwise. The Atlanta Reign have always been an exceptional team, up in like the top 4, top 5 kind of scenario.
Yeah.
But this qualifiers, they seem to be starting off kind of flat, but then, you know, when Reign get to tournaments, they go crazy. So it's sometimes hard to gauge how well the Atlanta Reign are doing when these qualifier situations, but yeah, I always found that quite funny. I mean, who did they beat to get here? It was Paris, but they lost to Toronto, who right now is a top 3 team.
Yeah.
And they also lost to Boston at the hands of the Punker Queen. So it's been a little bit tough, yes, but honestly, the addition of Vigilante and Speedly, they're going to clutch into the tournament. I can see it right now. And like you mentioned, Rose, Speedly's ability to change to something like the Echo is fantastic. Like, super flexible DPS player that has been proven for the last like 3 years in contenders.
And that was just a kind of a trademark of his. Whenever it was either playing the Echo, playing the Genji, these are heroes that slot into this meta so well. We see the Echo choice a little bit actually in the Eastern region, and it really has been about duplicating that Junker Queen. We got a great example of how that works on Nepal, but we're seeing Speedily also come out of the attacking spawn with the Echo. And so I think there are some great buildings you can play around with this, but you do have to be careful.
Yeah, they're taking so much spam damage in that small corridor, in that train. Who part of that train there anyway? That's what I want to know. All right, okay, Speedly's going to the Genji now instead, so off the Echo completely.
Okay, I mean, that works too. I think that when Speedily is able to play either of these heroes, you're going to see a really nice fluid approach to which one feels better in the moment. But, you know, Speedily does get to keep some of that ultimate charge from the Echo, but I think this allows him to go in really fast and aggressive.
Oh. Wow, Hadi got kind of booped away. Nice reflect kill actually from Speedy onto Sparker, sending that railgun right the way back. I mean, the damage has really already been done. I mean, Speedly did his job. The Atlanta Reign now pushing on to the point after both Genjis end up dying. London Spitfire should be able to get a small recontest, even if it's just 4 people.
Yeah, I mean, look at Hadi and Landon. They're waiting for Admiral to go speed them in.
Oh, nice boop. Admiral got booped super far away.
Yeah,
okay, Vigilante juggling the point with Hawk. Nice shot onto Admiral, though. He's half HP, trying to get healed up, trying to heal himself. Landon didn't have any packs to spare by the looks of it. Backbone's now in, trying to contest. Only 10% to go, really, for the Atlanta Reign. They should be good. And Kai handles Landon with ease. And that should be good. Atlanta Reign, double support ultimate. In fact, almost a whole slate of ults coming into this next point.
Yeah, pacing the Rampage a little bit on Hadi's end of things, but I mean, that double support ultimate from Atlanta is going to be matched by that of London Spitfire. And so you're really looking at this point, who is going to feel confident enough to pop their DPS ultimates to be able to deal with the overhealth and the shields that either of these ultimates is going to provide. And really, you're looking at just finding as much value as possible. You don't want to use both support ultimates if you can help it.
Ooh. Man, the Surgeons have kind of been on one today already. Good stuff, good stuff.
I think we're going to see that a lot. I mean, it's Sparker and it's Kai.
Oh, backbone. That was kind of nasty, actually. Little blade pull as well into the spawn. Don't mind if I do. Hello, Speedling. Goodbye, Speedling.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, what's London right now? That's
what is happening?
By value.
What is happening here? Hawk is just bogged. Actually bogged by the Spitfire. That was the longest chase in the history of chases.
Oh, what? Where's OG?
Oh.
Where did Sparker? How did Sparker die? Where did they go? Why are they over here?
What is happening? What is happening? Okay, OG and Speedly are on the point. The Spitfire are going to have to get back. They're two of the most mobile heroes. Oh, OG got rolled by Terrain there. Couldn't get over the green bit.
What is that?
But I mean, that's not bad. Atlanta Terrain get a lot of positioning back for that. We're in kind of the same situation. Speedly now going in with the blade. He already received the climbing shout, so his health bar a little bit healthier than one might expect, but nothing that Lannon can't handle. The rest of his team was kind of hodling around the payload there. There was no real backup over the top of this high ground. However, Hadi dying and Backbone dead, maybe that was the distraction they were after. 3 ultimates still alive for the Atlanta Reign. This is a good push.
I mean, the fact that they had the blade, it was a little bit of a wet noodle, unfortunately. Landon was able to neutralize that pretty quickly. But the rally, too, I mean, look at this. Jaws, they're already approaching the second objective, and Kai is going to kick things off.
It might end right here, right now. Oh, they're going to rally. They've already lost OG, and this is going to be Spitfire's final stand on the second point. There's only a meter to go before Atlanta Reign do manage to cap. The humongous ult from Hawk hits every single member of the London Spitfire. Admiral's coming back, just maybe can save it, but the Rampage from Hawk, way too good.
Oh, they capped under all of the chaos. London Spitfire were right there. But because of how aggressive Reign were playing, London didn't even get a chance to actually touch the cart. So good stuff from the Reign. They get to roll into this third objective, and just it looks like they have plenty of time to do so. 3.5 minutes here, and they're just gonna have to start rotating through some ultimates, maybe take an eco push, but if they're lucky and they play their cards just right, they could just push this all the way in.
Gotta be careful, Backbone's blades up. No support almost for the Reign. Commanding shout might be all that they have. All the speed from OG's good though, and another big boop. Backbone doesn't really get too much. A little bit of damage onto Hawk, but he might be able to get healed up. Hawk and Landon do end up trading. It's whether the Atlanta Reign still want to go for this. It looks like they want to. Vigilante's going to pop that rally, and Kai, OG, and Vigilante, a 3-man wrecking crew, end up cleaning up the London Spitfire.
Wow, yeah. I mean, that blade looked good in the small room, but OG coming in to save the day? This is the eco push that Reign needed. They got a valuable ultimate out of the Spitfire. And so now they just have to deal with the beat from Admiral. And once they get that out of their system, then they can go in with Speedly's blade.
Okay, the beat's already come out for London. Speedy now looking towards a free blade potentially, but not before Backbone can end the fight rather quickly. The Atlanta Reign more than happy with that push though, Rose.
Yeah, again, they got another high-value ultimate out of the Spitfire, and they still have to contend with the rally from Landon, but sometimes that can be slow to accumulate depending on whether or not that Brigitte is in a good position to be able to get the damage and also, of course, get that Inspire healing. And Reign, the rally might not even be enough with the firepower that they're boasting.
There's one boot, there's 2 boots, no boots left. Speedly goes in, a lot of damage with the blade. The rally from Landon's coming out rather late, though, in this fight. The Atlanta Reign, they did get some decent damage down, but London Spitfire's kiting potential is absolutely massive. Another nice dagger will end Hawk and help OG go down. London Spitfire shooing off a lot of that time bank.
all of a sudden, yeah, 2 minutes just completely gone, and the Lucio's just continuing to impress. The way that this positioning of these fights have been going, I'm looking at Admiral and OG to really set the pace of how these fights are going to go. And I mean, Jaws, OG has Sound Barrier. Having any support ultimate online right now could be a huge boon.
Look at how he's positioning. He set himself up for an ult, or at least trying to. Hulk went way sooner, and you see Speely's chasing after Sparker. A beat from the Atlanta Reign to survive Hardy's ultimate. And Atlanta now in a position to cap with time. It's not over a minute, but still, any time is valuable, especially on Midtown. Backbone's got the blade, lying in wait, got to pull it soon. His target is Hawk, he does get booped, but look at the health bars just racking up. Vigilante and OG keeping Hawk alive for as long as possible, and both support from Spitfire are already dead. Vigilante pops the rally, and they will be able to get that final point with 25 seconds in the time bank.
Feeling pretty good to capture all 3 points. I felt like Atlanta Reign had to really work for that, though. And this is what we expected out of two of some of the best teams in the Western region. And especially one that have such a storied rivalry, it feels like, for this season. I mean, Atlanta really just pulling out all the stops, and I think that rally from Vigilante coming online at the tail end of things just to secure the objective was exactly what Reign needed to really push themselves over the edge.
I mean, for a new addition in Vigilante, we knew his brig was good, but that's 2 really nice rallies he's had already. That it wasn't quite a 1v3, but a 3v4, 3v5 almost for the Atlanta Reign. They come out on top with Kai, OG, and Vigilante staying alive. Like, yeah, Vigilante's already looking rather good.
Oh wait,
what is
OG.
This one? The Cheerios. Oh, was this the kill? Onto Sparker. Ooh,
oh no!
That aim though. That aim though. He's got him. He's gonna get him. Sparker running for his life. Oh, yeah. That was a mega pack just in that other room.
Okay, that's where it happened. Because I was like, how did OG get a boop kill onto Sparker?
Yeah.
Like, what happened to be able to allow that to be a scenario we were looking at? It's just the chase down. I love these aggressive Lucios. It's so fun to watch.
Yeah, any Lucio that can play aggressive is all good in my books, that's for sure. Quickly starting out as the Ana. I always like kind of doing that, either a nade or a quick sleep if someone tries on the defense, tries to line up for some damage on the spawn doors. Could be a fight win sometimes. You can win the point off just that one pick.
And you know, London are looking at trying to complete and also have as much time in the bank as possible. This echo, though, from Speedily might make things a bit difficult to try to get to the point, though. You can lock down so much entry.
Yeah, super annoying on the defense. Just the spam and the high gun that you get for free, pretty much. London do escort themselves to point, holding each other's hands in the locker room. The Atlanta Reign with Speedly's like burst damage and Kai's burst damage too. It's just overwhelming at times. Backbone's already used the reflect. That laser beam will go straight through it. Focus and beam, not even needed as Vigilante finishes up that kill. Oh, Speedly going aggro, but both DPS are dead with Spitfire. It's done.
Oh, and at this point, just cleanup here, it feels like, for London. They're going to have to go back to spawn and reset. And at this point, too, look how quickly Speedily has accumulated ultimate charge. If London Spitfire aren't careful, that could really get out of hand with Speedily going to copy the Junker Queen and then Hawk. Like, that buys enough time for Hawk to get another Rampage online for himself.
Yeah, what is he? 72 to, what, 51 and 49? Or 50, we'll call it 50% for Sparker and Backbone.
It's a lot.
Yeah, he's getting it quite quickly. Oh, Backbone, hello. What's up? Oh, and wow, Speedy just dies to a headshot of Sparker. Okay, London Spitfire now going to push on to the point. Atlanta Reign do have both support ultimates coming up. Could use that to recontest. Vigilante just gets rally, and OG will come up with his beat in just a moment. There's the rally from the Reign. Sparker looking for another quick headshot, but with that overhealth building up, it's going to be harder than it at first appears. Speedy back from spawn, already takes a body shot from Sparker. He's pushed both DPS from the Atlanta Reign all the way back, and now the beats are going to come out both from Admiral and OG. Admiral looked like his one got interrupted, or at least booped there for a second. No Ajax is here though. 1 minute and 44 seconds does remain as it's just a brawl on this point, in London Spitfire filling the kill feed with blue as they finally cut down the Atlanta Reign and cap point A.
Well, look at that. Speedily actually didn't even use the duplicate. I actually don't think that Speedily even got it online. So we'll see Speedily actually switch over to the Genji here to try to go for some of these more close quarters fights. But that was expensive. Both support ultimates used from both teams. While Atlanta has this high ground advantage, they now lack that pressure from that aerial unit of the Echo, so they've got to go in and get aggressive.
Oh, yeah, speaking of which, I think you just got your wish there. Pepper super low, does pull the blade. Has to be careful of Kai. Yep, because that'll happen. Wasn't a headshot, but a body shot was enough. That will suffice for the time being.
Looking good. And pushing London back to their spot. This is what Atlanta want. They want to make sure that, you know, if that, I mean, worst case scenario, you know, you get to a second round, but you kind of don't want that. I mean, Atlanta could just kind of shut things down here with the Rampage.
Oh, yeah, the Rampage set up. Both Rampages come out. 3-person each side getting antied. Landon, a good target for Hawk. Vigilante ends up bleeding out, and it's actually a trade. Now just a 3-on-3. Admiral and OG. Lucio 1v1, maybe an honorable one, maybe not so much. Kai ends up going down, Sparker to follow. Now a 2-on-2, but London Spitfire spawn a little bit closer to this fight, so the Atlanta Reign will end up being bled dry at the very end of it.
Hey, respawn advantage feels pretty good. That cart's rolled back quite a bit though, and so now you're looking at London trying to get under this car wash before Atlanta Reign can come back and recontest, but you can see Kai already set up to try to get some straightaway damage, and then you also just need to try to take this high ground. But London's giving it up completely.
Yeah, they just want to fight on low. I mean, getting Sparker a good sightline is nice. Get Rain to drop, and then Sparker maybe goes height. Gets a nice little railgunner. Blade from Speedly. Gonna get matched with a beat from the Spitfire. A rally from Vigilante. I mean, decent. I mean, the Atlanta Reign are able to back off and then use their beat late. It's perfect. London Spitfire don't have the overhealth now, and Sparker has to just push himself all the way back, so his line of sight aren't that great. However, London don't lose anybody, so it's more of an equal trade. But all support Octo now gone. It's just a neutral fight until maybe Backbone gets his blade online. And that's good for the Reign. They're burning so much time away.
A minute and a half now. That's already half of the time bank of second point completely gone. But yeah, we're looking at Backbone and Kai racing each other to these DPS ultimates. Especially when both the support ults for both teams are offline right now. Those aren't coming online anytime soon. Ooh, Backbone gets low.
Oh.
That's a pick.
Yeah, Vigilante gets lower. Yeah, Speedly ends up going down. Lone Spitfire, if they wipe the Atlanta Reign slightly slow here, that could be troublesome, as the Reign won't be able to go for another recontest. Yeah, it doesn't look like they're going to be able to. Nope, Vigilante is there, but nah, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that Vigilante and Kai were trying to make a quick getaway. They didn't have the support to be able to take a contest, and if they had, they would have been staggered. There's no way you win the 2v5 there. Even though, you know, we all believe in Kai's abilities, but it's just a little...
Happen, okay? It can happen. If you're Kai and you have an overclock,
oh, maybe. Yeah, no, you're right, though. It's still risky, and that's too much of a risk for the reward you would get.
Speaking of Kai's overclock,
Kite it away.
Any angs? Any angs? No. No angs found. Unfortunate. However, Hawk's got his Rampage coming up. Oh, another nice reflect. This time from Backbone. Pulls the blade, jumps to the backline, gets it infinitely booped. CC out of control there. Controlling Backbone's positioning. Now the London Spitfire, they use their beat to push forward. The Atlanta Reign still have a Rampage to hold on to, and without that beat, it could be disastrous. Ali stepping up to the plate, but OG's already dead, and now a rally from Vigilante. Valentine, wrong team. Wrong character, wrong role as well. Hawk and Addy do end up going down. Here's the blade from Speedly. Vigilante with a counter poop on to Landon, both shield bashing into each other. But Speedly does end up saving the day, helping OG secure the kill onto Landon. With 60 seconds to go, the London Spitfire on their last legs.
They are, but they've got the ultimate economy. I mean, you just forced out so many ults from the Atlanta Reign just to keep London from capturing that third objective. And now Hottie can kick things off with a Rampage, a nice follow-up from Sparker to just get these railgun shots with the overclock active. You could definitely get this done, but this is going to be the final attempt for London, so it has to be done here.
Oh! Not sure what kind of damage followed that up. Sparker hit that ult, Rose.
Yeah, it's gone.
It gets reflected back, and Speedly with a nice kill. Now London have 20 seconds to go.
Oh my gosh, this actually just got way harder too. You don't have the overclock to follow up the rampage anymore, and OG could time this sound barrier perfectly to make sure that London Spitfire don't even have a chance to capture this third point.
Last push. He's trying to set up for a big rampage. He wants to corral the rain, but Huddy's already sent pretty low, and in fact, he has to use that commanding shout to save himself. Touching the payload is a priority for the London Spitfire. Can't get off as overtime is here, and the Atlanta Reign more than happy just to kind of let this fight stall out for a little bit. Maybe Kai gets his railgun online. Sparker's infinitely far away. Only 20% to Kai's 70 right now. And as much of the time goes on, the overtime will tick down increasingly quicker as soon as London get off that payload. Still, just stall. Are we going to see another 2-minute stall like in Coliseum? I don't think so, as overtime is here, but OG still waiting with that beat. London Spitfire now getting aggressive as Hawk ends up going down. Rampage comes out, hits 2 for the Rain, but that overshield doing so much. The London Spitfire used their beat in kind, though, and were able to just stall out for long enough to get both support ultimates online. Now Landon could just sit pretty with a rally, as now it's up to Rain to stop the push.
Gosh, and the overclock being used now too. Speedly's gonna have to be able to come back with the blade, but what legs do Rain have to stand on?
2% for Backbone's Blade. He can pull it out to end it right now. Commanding shout's good, and it's going to be Blade versus Blade. Speedly's got one as well. He gets landed. One support dead. London Spitfire hanging on for dear life. But no, the Rain cut them short on point C, and they tie the series up.
There's your answer. It's Speedly's legs. Doing some heavy lifting right there at the end with the blade, really finding value. It looked close there for London to be able to get that. I mean, the patience that they executed for Hadi to wait till OG popped the sound barrier and then go in with the rampage. They knew what they were playing for, they knew what the win condition was, but it just got shut down.
All right, close series. I think everybody expected it to be. The Death certainly did with the Preds. We'll see which way this series ends up taking us after this break.
shots, dead in the ground. We ain't the same, pull up. 3 rounds, bro, you done. We let it rain, head pop. So look out when we in the zone. Don't play around. I got a strap, put to your back. Tell you now, we laying it down. Yeah, bands up, trapped out. I bring the dogs, gang out. Look. Don't wanna fade and drop out, got no clout. Think smart, this crucial. We ain't no average usual. Nah, we let it rain, ain't seen a savage who you.
Yeah, it's 1-1 right now. London Spitfire and the Atlanta Reign. After Atlanta Reign managed to hold London just at the very end of Midtown there. We're looking at some stats in the break. Heads up. Shout out to Noah, our stats guy.
Yeah.
Talk about the Junker Queen stats from last map, Hattie versus Hawk.
It's pretty stark contrast. Like Hawk actually just tank diffed Hottie here. Especially when you look at the Jagged Blade accuracy, 30% to 16%. That's Hawk leading there with that 30. And then the Rampage kills as well. Hawk just finding better value with that 10 to 2.
Yeah, 5xing. 5xing Hardy's Rampage kills, which is kind of crazy. Those Rampages, an unbelievable ultimate. And, well, we've seen it, a couple of them. In once, like... Echo. More Echo, maybe? If we have a meta where, if this meta evolves into like just Echoes instead of the Genjis, I think that would be rather funny. It would be very chaotic, but rather funny to see 4 Rampages going off at the same time.
That's just over.
It would be rather silly, but I know. It's okay. At the end of the day, what's more fun than just watching everybody's health bars just get deleted to 0 through a Rampage? I mean, because imagine that. It would just be the Echo surviving, right? Because double Rampage on either side, everybody's anti, no one can get healed, everybody ticking down at like a lightning speed, and then it's just the Echoes who come out of the copy, and then they're like, oh, it's just us. And then it's an honorable 1v1.
We're missing those, I feel like, in this meta. The honorable 1v1s.
The honorable 1v1s?
Yeah.
Yeah. That is true. That is true. It's, no more like Lucio or like... Would you say a Widowmaker 1v1's like an admirable 1v1? Would you say that's?
I think so.
From across the map, I think it's quite,
yeah, we've definitely seen that in like Circuit Royale. That's when it's fun, when you know that the Widows are hunting for maybe the grapple shots or just looking at those areas.
They're just looking for clips.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. They're just looking for highlight videos.
I don't blame
them. That's what I do every single time I play Overwatch.
Got it.
Just look for Widow clips and then only post the best ones. With the one shot, the one like 6 shot I hit out of like the hundreds that I go for. I'm like, yeah, I do this all the time.
Yeah.
Difference is, Arns and Kai and people that can actually aim hit those 3 out of 5 times.
Putting your best foot forward. It's okay. I won't tell anybody.
Okay, good. Okay, good. There's definitely not like tens of thousands of people watching right now.
No.
All good. All right, we are in Junkertown. Enough of that rambling. Same comps though. I'm surprised that London or maybe Atlanta Reign didn't want to go for kind of a Widowmaker, but kind of makes sense if you want to fight in the neutral like this. Ooh, not quite so neutral anymore. Well, now it is. Tell a lie. Both Briggs are dead, but no, Kai is locked in. He's online. He's hitting heads.
Yeah, and also those disruptor shots too, just really forcing London to have to split up. Hottie barely gets away with his life. Can't really chase that down, just knowing that Admiral and Landon are back online to make sure that Hottie can actually get that healing. But the aggression from the Reign have forced us into this position where London really only get 1 attempt to stop this cart before it gets that first checkpoint.
Yeah, it does very much feel like the nature of Junkertown. But at least you do get a second bit of defense here. Oh, look at that speed from the Atlanta Reign. Pace setting, trend setting right now. Very quick. First point cap. All right. 5 minutes per second. If they can get Kai set up on high ground and speed on a flank angle too, it would be quite nice.
Yeah, that would be super nice. And I think that, you know, when Kai is able to get that consistent damage with the Sojourn, it pairs really nicely with Hawk actually landing those Jagged Blades. I mean, that 30% accuracy is quite huge when you consider the fact that Jagged Blade allows you to wound an opponent that gets hit by it. And so that just compounds on the fact of having that explosive burst damage, as we're just going to see Atlanta Reign get set up here for what's to come.
They weren't quite able to take high ground that quickly, but Speely's built a quick blade. Backbone's not too far behind him, about 8% or so, but this is a perfect angle for maybe Speedy to go in. Way of commanding shout, jumps straight to the front line, one boom down already, he turns around, and a beat comes out from London. So Speedy keeping himself alive, Vigilante unable to do so, and Rain don't actually invest their own beat to keep Vigilante alive, so I think London gonna have to be wary. They've still got a beat to use, but Rain still on the aggression, almost there.
Yeah, I mean, Speedily didn't get any value from that blade, though, so I think Backbone is looking for an opportunity to pull his own, and that time might be coming up pretty soon, especially if they can get that beat or that rally out of the rain.
There's a rally from the rain. Hawk's already pretty low, though. Overhealth ticking up. Hawk's super low still, somehow. Okay, there you go. He got triple packed by the looks of it, and Kai using that overclock. Everybody pretty scared, and I would be too. Backbone pulling the blade as Kai's still waiting. He's waiting for someone to peek. Rampage from Hawk. 3 people anti the London Spitfire don't stand a chance in that small room. And Kai holding off Sparker that entire time, Rose. Sparker didn't really have a say in that fight at all, because Kai was just sitting on low ground like, okay, try and peek me. I'm going to headshot you.
Yeah, that was a great way to distract Sparker from being a part of that conversation. And I think also when you look at how Backbone got isolated in that room, man, Jaws, you can deflect so much with the Genji blade, but you can't deflect everything. I'm looking at Vigilante right now, probably having the time of his life in that small room with the rest of the rain against Backbone.
They do be sawing it. Oh, speaking of swinging, axe cleaving the Backbone's head into. All right, Speedy and Hawk hit with that Rampage. Hardy with a nice long-range knife ball. Still trying to win these small fights on the side. Hawk's positioning has been exceptionally good. Like, you're stopping Hardy from really joining the rest of his team and getting any value there by just holding that corner, swinging the axe every time it comes off of cooldown. Hawk is really showing up in the series today already.
I think that's just everybody on the Reign. They've had such a good handle on their counterpart on the other team that it really has made it feel like it's kind of a 5v4 for a lot of these fights in the favor of the Reign.
There's the overclock. Deflects. Not going to shoot into it. Oh, maybe he did shoot into it. I'm not sure. Spinny might have been holding that deflect still because Sparker's health bar just disappeared. 3.5 minutes to go for the Reign, and they're on the final little stretch. Oh. Landon's dead. Speedley's got the blade still. Atlanta Reign setting an unreal pace. And who's behind them right now? It might be Sparker. No, Sparker's in the spawn. Someone is behind the Atlanta Reign. They're just ignoring them completely. Backbone's taken pretty low. Speedley's blade doing so much damage, and Vigilante putting his name on the board. What a speed run there from the Atlanta Reign on Junkertown.
Very decisive speed run too. You know, for a lot of this series, it's felt very back and forth, and obviously we have yet to see how London Spitfire do on their attack push, but the Reign made that very convincing. So many nice moments from them too. Josh, you're able to call out a few of those where, you know, Kai keeping Sparker busy, Hawk keeping Hottie busy. It's been great to see this look from the Reign. They've struggled a bit in the lead up to this match.
I didn't know that little bar area is called Wolf Woods. Shout out Wolf. That's pretty cool.
That
That's
either.
new every day. Yeah, there's those little small changes. Maybe it's always been there. I don't know. You don't normally look back at the spawn, to be fair. So maybe I just always miss that sign, I suppose. Not sure. What's this Hawk? Woo! Oh man! So, jeez. So that's what happened. Hawk hit a jagged blade onto Sparker, and Sparker just kind of got pulled in. Jeez, that was a fantastic way of shutting that down. That opened it up too for the final cap there.
Jagged blade accuracy. We're gonna see it really matter. Really are.
Yeah, any form of displacement is always super clean, and we don't really have big abilities to pull people towards you, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, hitting that can be kind of crazy. Oh, okay. Small difference from London. Going back to your face. Oh! Okay. Well. I can't wait to see Backbone on May on Junkertown. It's going to be great. It just instantly dies to the headshot guy. Unlucky.
Oh, I didn't caster curse that, I swear. I swear, I wanted to see the May. We will see the May. Maybe.
Maybe. A little bit of revenge from the other Sojourn and Sparker there. All right. Nice, decent spawn hold from the Rain, but it should begin to unravel. Yeah, there you go.
Well, when you have the Mei and you're trying to contend against that at your spawn room doors, I don't think that's going to really work too well there for the Rain. But that close hold is always so nice because now Rain really get 2 chances to contest this cart. Whereas on the flip side of things on that first round, London got 1. So you really want to try to buy yourself as many opportunities as possible. So you'll see Rain come back into this one pretty quick.
This ends now.
Super early overclock. Don't think the Rain are really expecting this. They have to use that commanding shout to get in the faces of the London Spitfire right now. Jeez, yeah, Admiral picking up the counter Hawk. That was after a nice disruptor shot. Slowed Hawk's movement speed. Sparker, Speedy doesn't end up coming up with a kill, but Admiral, Lucio finding a lot of final blows right now for the London Spitfire. Nice jagged blade. Come to me, OG. That should be good. London Spitfire also making quite a clean first point push.
Yeah, that fight went a lot longer than I think Rain would have liked, so they don't actually get this second chance to contest. But you can see Hawk waiting in the wings there, but the call to just sit back and wait, try to take this high ground presence away from the Spitfire is definitely the right call when you know as well that Vigilante has the rally. Oh no!
Oh,
Speedily!
Oh, someone help him. Someone help him.
Can't help him.
Wow, what a whip shot from Landon there. That was super nice. You saw him leap onto the high ground almost there on those big cogs. You can shield bash and you get launched up into the sky. Always a scary sight seeing a flying brig.
Yep.
Always scary. Double rally from both teams. Sparker sent really low, and look how split up the Atlanta Rain are right now, but Hawk more than willing to fight in those small corridors with the knife and with the axe. Now Vigilante, the focus of attention for the London Spitfire, but with that beat from OG, that will seal it.
Just questioning the sound barrier for just a little bit, but it makes a lot of sense knowing that it bought time for Speedily to come back into the fight. But at least London Spitfire didn't get trigger happy and use their sound barrier as well. That gives them such a nice answer to what the Rain have in store for them coming into this next team fight, which is going to be those DPS ultimates and of course the Rampage on either side.
Oh, nice pull.
Oh, look
really
at
nice
that.
jagged blade there from Hardy. Pulls Hawk down from the high ground. Blizzard from Backbone. Oh, there's no way Hawk survives that one. Yeah, wasn't even LOS of his healers there, unfortunately. Good Blizzard usage from London. OG going pretty low. Hardy's range quite ineffective when he's standing that far back, but Kai's not so much. He's got that overclock on the high ground, away from the London Spitfire, like sitting all the way at the back, but London, they're they want to play together, they just want to push around these corners, and they're doing just that, but they're getting picked apart at the seams right now.
Ooh, well, a nice ice block there from Backbone. I think gets out of it a bit too early, maybe hoping to keep that player advantage alive here for the Spitfire, and at least now Spitfire can get a bit of momentum going forward, but Rain's respawns are still closer, so they have that advantage until Spitfire's reinforcements come back.
Missing the jagged blade. Hawk's got the Rampage, so it's Hardy. It's Junk Queen versus Junker Queen. You saw the stats earlier on. Hawk was very much in the lead. We'll see if Hardy can tip the scales in his favor. It's where London really want to go. Okay, so Backbone's also switched off of the Mei over to the Genji instead, saving a little bit of that ult charge. He's up to 40% on that blade, and now looks like London want to make their incision.
Wow, look at Backbone kind of splitting up too. Try to get another angle.
Maybe. Rally, Rampage in the small room. 4 people hit with the Rampage from Hawk. Yep, he's still right now just outgunning Hardy in the Junker Queen versus Junker Queen matchup. That's a Rain. Hope the London Spitfire get a team kill, burning that time bank down, something good. Like, what, a minute and 40 seconds to go? London Spitfire, they've got very little in the bank, and in fact, they switch again. Backbone's back on the Mei.
I mean, okay, if Spitfire can rush into things, they can find value from this Mei, but it really does rely on them actually getting there without taking too much damage. And Rain, at this point, they're taking this forward positioning, they're trying to poke away. You need to play around this cart, though, if you're the Spitfire, and force Rain to come to you. Risky. So risky.
Don't really need that at all. There's the blade, there's the boop. Nice dash and a beat. That ice block didn't last long enough. Look at that damage. 3 people, 1 slash there from Speedly. Couple of resets will do him good, and the Atlanta Reign more so. 50 seconds to go. The Atlanta Reign come into that fight with ult advantage. You kind of expect them to win it, but now they put London on a clock. Quite literally, 40 seconds. A beat is all they have.
That could be enough. If Admiral is able to use the sound barrier a bit aggressively before Kai can get the overclock online, then you're not too worried about just getting chunked away at that massive amounts of damage. So Admiral looking to be in a position to use this beat, make sure it hits everybody to just rush at the Reign. Kai's working up to that overclock though, it's coming online fast.
There it is. He called it. He's going to use it. An instant headshot. Not sure who it was on. It didn't really matter as the beat came out just in time before it even goes down. Sparker pretty low. Has to dash to that mega health pack. And Kai still in a decent spot. Landon falls. A limited healing now for the London Spitfire. They have to end this fight now. Vigilante and OG also end up falling as overtime has arrived. Kai low. He's going to get killed off with a couple of Cheerios or just Sparker matching him on the high ground. London win that out with a beat. You called it, Rose. But only a minute and 26 seconds to go for this final point. Look at the gargantuan time by the Atlanta Reign have accumulated last round. A very, very up-until struggle now for the Spitfire.
I mean, that's just 2 team fights. That's really all that London Spitfire have in the tank. You're having to hope that they can rotate through these ultimates and well enough that they can mitigate this respawn advantage that Reign are going to have. The rally too from Vigilante, another answer here for the call that Spitfire are going to make. This Blizzard.
Speedly with a blade. Oh, he's going so low already. Receives so much healing. Look at his health bar just tick all the way up, but OG is unfortunately dead. The Atlanta Reign and Spitfire use that rally, and now it's about these isolation kills. Hawk gets separated with a wall, and London still trying to contend with Speedly. He has somehow not died. He eventually goes down. But, I mean, the target priority was good for Spitfire. Hawk dying, no front line, but they're still burning time off the bank. London Spitfire now have to be pretty much perfect with 20 seconds to go.
Well, they held on to basically everything, only using the rally in that last fight, so they've got 4 ultimates at their disposal.
Overclocks. Only one of them. Kai hasn't got his just yet. The wall to try and separate Speedly for the rest of his team. He used that deflect and the double jump to get over it. But now he's a little bit more vulnerable. OT is just about to arrive as the Atlanta Reign trying to make a stand. Sparker ends Speedly's life with a headshot, and now the Blizzard separating Hawk from the rest of his team. The London Spitfire with perfect ultimate economy on this final push do manage to push the payload all the way to point C. Kai up in the sky, tried to get a touch, didn't work out, and they do manage to complete. But look at the hill that they have to climb. 4 minutes in the time bank for the Reign to London's singular minute.
That's a pretty large disparity. And the way that these point A's have gone from either side, I expect that Reign can do a lot with the 4 minutes. They're gonna go far.
I mean, it also, what do London play here? It also depends on how they want to go for this attack. They had the Genji for a little bit, they had the Mei. Do they just run out with the Mei again and hope they can isolate Hawk or isolate Vigilante or OG or just anybody really?
I think you have to. Spitfire in this series have really looked the best when Backbone has been able to play the Mei.
Oh, man, that sucks for Hawk. He was so close to jumping out of that Blizzard and being unfrozen. Oh, nice little body shot on a G2 to end that. That was a, well, it's kind of it's like an easy Blizzard to hit, right? Because you just put it on payload. That's all you really need to do. There's no like big interrupts unless you end up dying. No, like Brig Bash doesn't exist anymore. It does, but it doesn't stun. So yeah, it's a an easy one for Backbone to lay down, but it was props to London for saving a lot of their ultimates in that second to last fight. So they do end up running with the Mei. They do find Hawk. He ain't slipping though. I mean, he just gets out there with ease. Atlanta Reign just focusing one of those walls down, but they do focus him, goes to the mega health pack room and end up ending his life. Ooh! Don't see those every day. Back of the head headshot. All right, 30 seconds to go. as, of course it would happen. I promise you I'm not DDoSing Rose or anything, but it's just me. For the time being, I will take us through the end of the game. Don't worry. It's 10 seconds to go. The Atlanta Reign have 4 minutes in their time bank. If London can get this first point, it will be good for them. But it's about, you got to be thinking about the next round and having to defend against those 4 minutes. No ultimates on the board just yet, so more of a neutral fight. It's Sparker and Kai, it's up to them to try and find a pick, unless London want to just charge on forward with Backbone on the main to try and find an isolation onto Hawk or Vigilante. Now Sparker's on a flank, he sent Hawk pretty low, and in fact the Atlanta Reign just ignore Sparker completely. With the Lantern dead, the London Spitfire have to come up with something big. Commanding Shout to heal everybody back up, but it's only temporary. A nice reflect shot from Speedly sends that railgun right back in Sparker's direction, and the Atlanta Reign will end up holding London Spitfire just before point A. And now where do you go from here? London Spitfire, they got, what are you thinking? Like hold first with the Mei, maybe? Just try and juggle that aggro on the doors. Welcome back, Rose.
Thank you.
It's all good, you didn't. They got held on.
Wait, we kind of expected that from first point, you know, how things had gone. Atlanta just have a really good understanding of how to play point A, and so whether they're going to be on the attack or the defense, you know, they've got this on lock. Now, yeah, London Spitfire against a 4-minute time bank. That's a lot. That's a tall ask, Jack. It's going to be a lot for London to deal with. Doesn't look like they're going for the close hold either. Backbone's on Genji.
Yeah, at least not a close hold with the Mei, I suppose. I mean, they could still hold close. It's just with the Mei, it can be kind of annoying to get people out of that small room. They're just holding this first corner and they're just like pushing all the way up. Yeah. I mean, ideally, you just get as many fights out as possible, right? Maybe you get 2 or 3 before you really need to worry if you're the London Spitfire.
You still have to stop them at least once, and then maybe that one team fight win gives you the momentum to get those ultimates online first. But 4 minutes is a lot of time to contend with.
Not today. Just a body shot onto Backbone. I mean, if he gets a pick there, that's
it.
Really bad for London Spitfire. Oh, disruptor shot hitting everybody from London right there. Look at Kai's ult charge already. Not bad, not bad, not bad. And then just stealing the payload too. Huddy, because there's no crazy burst stealing in these comps either, Huddy has to literally wait for his health to build up from a pack and from the AoE healing. And look at that. Nice little ghost dash there from Speedly. He was sent super low, so couldn't contest the payload. London Spitfire basically get wiped, Rose.
And this is not looking good for them at all. I mean, Landon is going to be the closest thing to an ultimate that the London Spitfire have so far, and Rain can really play this aggressive. They have so much time to work with, and that is a liberty that they will take full advantage of. I mean, look at this. Just, where's Speedily going?
Okay, this is their second fight. They used to make it worth it. Backbone used all of his abilities already. Double commanding shout already used. Apple pretty low. Now it's up to Speedly to try and find the kill. Backbone wasn't even looking at him. You probably should be, son. The Atlanta Reign now with an even fight-ish. They do end up losing Hawk, but Speedly just existing and being alive, doing damage like this, building himself up towards that blade. He's 99% already. He does get taken care of, but the Atlanta Reign, they're fine with that. You build up so many ults in that engagement, and you still have almost 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go.
Yep. That even if, you know, Rain has to keep trying and trying and trying, that is still maybe 4 team fights that you're looking at that the Rain can come back into this one with. But they've got double support ults, the blade. Kai gets really low though.
Oh yeah, Sparker tried to go for the execution kill. There's the blade, good boop onto Speedy. He hasn't got a dash, so he's trying to find some just damage of some kind. Sparker ends up falling. Both rallies now kind of fading. 3 members left from the Spitfire. Make that 2 as Hardy and Apple trying to make their final stand. But the Reign not losing a single person on that final push. They do take Junkertown and match point.
Ends up being a different story if the Reign didn't have over 4 minutes to work with. But London still put up a heck of a fight in that map, and every single one of these maps has been really close.
It really has. I mean, maybe this is the week the Reign end up bouncing back. They came in after a couple of losses to Toronto, to Boston. They beat Paris, but they were 1-2. Not a Reign we really thought we'd be seeing this far into a qualifiers. Maybe this is their ticket to to the Toronto Lamb. We'll have to wait and find out. They are on match point, but can London come back? We'll find out after this. The Overwatch League is coming to Toronto. Defiant are hosting Canada's first ever Overwatch League tournament presented by Bell. It's going to be a good time at September 8th to the 11th and experience Esports Live. You know, look, we all love Esports Live, and what better place to do it in Toronto. Play Overwatch 2 and come join the party, and be sure to check out the Bell Fan Zone for the best seats in the house. There'll be lots of different bits and pieces there as well. It's going to be a good time. I'm looking forward to it.
Too.
It's going to be the first time I've been to Toronto, so
Same.
yes, it's going to be fantastic. No, let's get back to the game at hand. One of these teams could be making it to Toronto. The Atlanta Reign and the London Spitfire are currently facing off, and if you've only just joined us, the Atlanta Reign are now 2-1 up in the series. They're on match point. Speedly and Vigilante playing for them today. It's been quite a close game so far, though, Rose.
It has, and I feel like it's been a while since we've seen a close game like this. I think when you look at just how a lot of teams have separated themselves from the pack, we've seen a lot of one-sided matches in both the East and the West. And so it is a breath of fresh air to see how heavy hitting this match has really been for both of these teams. And Atlanta specifically has been looking for revenge. This is the third time that both of these teams have played each other this season, and London Spitfire has played spoil to them twice. You know, once right before the kickoff clash, and then of course again in mid-season madness. So Atlanta just trying to turn around the script here.
And they seem to be doing a good job of that, rewriting the whole thing with some of their new players, like Speedly. The dude's been touted as one of the best Western rookies coming into the season, and today is his birthday, which means he can play. He is eligible. Happy birthday, Speedly, as well.
Happy birthday!
And is Genji not looking half bad? Maybe a little bit of a warm-up round on Nepal, but not looking bad whatsoever. Vigilante too, another new addition to the Atlanta Reign roster coming from Washington Justice, a team that was, to be fair, Washington Justice, we're doing pretty well with Vigilante on the team in recent history, but with Vigilante on the Atlanta Reign, maybe that's what they needed. Vigilante's also come up pretty big. You look at Midtown, where it was a 3v4-ish, and Vigilante just hits the rally and he's just going in, just ends up winning it out. Like a good asset for the Atlanta Reign to have this season.
It's just the timing. It's the timing of those ultimates as well that really has set Vigilante apart. But Speedily has put on an incredible debut so far. I mean, okay, Dragon Blade efficiency, maybe not the greatest here, but when you look at the hero damage overall on Junkertown, Speedily has really been one of the front runners in that department for this match.
Yeah, to be fair, it is hard to get Dragon Blade kills in this meta.
Oh, with the brig
like
too.
Boops and the brig and, you know, the rally and the sound barrier and stuff. And normally the blades used to bait out one of those ultimates, because if you don't use the beat to counter the blade's just going to just destroy you, because you either have like the rally going on for yourself, or you have a commanding shout, so you're more survivable as the Genji.
Right.
And yeah, like, what was that, 16k damage done in Junkertown? So yeah, not looking too bad whatsoever so far for his debut game in the Overwatch League. Definitely a player that's going to have a lot of staying power, that is for sure.
Yeah, and there was another stat actually that Noah brought up. I'm not sure if we had actually talked about it yet, but Speedily started off Nepal with a solid 11 final blows to 5 deaths, despite the fact that Atlanta ended up losing that map. And so I love seeing that Speedily is continuing to back up the hype with the performance that he's been putting on today.
All right, let's jump on to Colosseo. I mean, this is a map, really, that it feels like a very London map.
It is.
Just when we had the Rhine rush from London with the May, like, it very much felt like this was London's map. Very different metas now, though. And we did see London, in fact, in week 1, I believe, try the Rhine rush again with the May. It just didn't end up working.
No, wasn't quite the right thing to use on Colosseo. I think we could still see London Spitfire stick to the Junker Queen with Backbone on the May. But yeah, I mean, London Spitfire were really taking some names on this map in sets previous. A lot of it also just off the back of Sparker being able to find those impressive angles on the Soldier 76. Sojourn in the Junker Queen composition has to play a little bit closer to the team, but you can still have some of those split pushes with Admiral, suppose, you know, for example, kind of on the Lucio helping to taxi you around the map. But it is the May.
It is indeed. London always putting something fancy in their comps. Would you call May fancy? I'm not sure.
I think she's fancy. She's not what is it? She's not unexpected though from the Spitfire.
Yeah, that is pretty true. All right. So, okay. I was about to say how long until we get another kill, but no, it was 50 seconds that time. We should
not 2.5 minutes.
We see in Coliseum. Yeah, not 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Like that shot game. Oh, Vigilante, very nice. Very nice break.
Now at Rain too, they have a lot of momentum that they can work with here. It really is going to be about getting that first checkpoint though, and Spitfire are gonna definitely make sure they dig their heels into the sand. It's gonna be a lot of just kind of making sure that they can play around this bridge too. The May should really help to bolster that effect by just getting in close and isolating.
Yep, Hawk is trapped. He's already used that shout. You saw OG kind of peek his head over. I mentioned in the last map that the amount of burst healing, well, there is no burst healing basically. I mean, you pack and then amp, I suppose, is the biggest amount of burst healing you're going to get. Nothing like an Arna nade or anything like that, so, or a BAP shift and then a right click. So once you are trapped by that wall, it can be rather devastating.
Yeah.
But now it's London's turn to push.
I mean, there's just only so much that you can do. Even if OG comes over to save you, that could just be a throw. And you don't want to lose too many members, give over too much ultimate charge.
Oh my god. What a shot from Kai. Landed, looked like, and he gets
the ult
triple.
charge.
Okay.
Oh, Speedily, come on now.
Alrighty. Speedily taking away the 5k, but yeah, Kai with a big old grin in his face. He's a newcomer, he's allowed just one. Kai going crazy there. You saw Landon just like holding his shield up just permanently, and it's like
couldn't do anything.
It must have been like 2 frames of his shield disappearing, and Kai hits him with a headshot. That was just a timing thing. That was crazy. Atlanta Reign have so many ultimates coming up too.
Yeah.
Oh, in fact, they're just going to use him now. I mean, you might as well. Overclocked already pulled out, and Hardy is just isolated from the rest of his team. Ends up going down to Hawk. A late beat from Admore. I guess perfectly timed if you want to counteract that blade, but look at Speedly. He's just raining over Sparker on that Sojourn. Sparker was kind of looking around, looking for him. Popping the block as backbone, but yeah, that'll be it. The Atlanta Reign don't use their beat in that fight and still moving that barricade.
I think Backbone was really hoping that his stall would be enough to make sure that this push bot does not make it to that first checkpoint without London Spitfire getting a chance to have another recontest, especially when they have such nice tools to be able to do so. They got 3 ultimates out of the Rain now, so they can go in with their own.
Best spot for the London Spitfire to be in though, these small corridors, big blizzard separating Vigilante from the rest of the team. That OG beat meant nothing to Vigilante. Oh, a big anti. Hawk goes in with a rampage, hits Huddy and hits Admiral. Spitfire in a 3v4 situation. Make that a 3v3 as Hawk ends up going down, focused by Backbone, but OG with a bit of revenge. Backbone, rather survivable still on the May, gets a double air shot onto OG as he sails down to his grave.
Now you have to look at if London Spitfire can match this meterage so far. We're about to approach the halfway point here, and so the fact that neither team has actually taken that first objective is pretty big. Atlanta Reign, though, of course, in the lead, but Spitfire only had to use the beat and the blizzard. They still have stuff to use.
Yeah, they're definitely feeling pretty good. Wanting to end this fight just off of this overclock. Rally from Landon use. Hattie's still sitting on his own ultimate. OG does die. Kai does trade for Sparker, but no to no avail for the Atlanta Reign. They just don't have ults here.
No, and Hadi still has one. You know, at least for the Reign, you know, they're looking at Speedily being able to get that Dragon Blade online, knowing that there isn't a good response from the Spitfire to deal with that unless they're able to shut it down with CC and kiting. But Hadi with a lot of onus to be able to use this Rampage right away into this wall.
Right, big axe swing from Hardy. Rampage hits 2. OG and Hawk in trouble, but look, they've kited all the way back. In fact, they might not even need to now because London Spitfire's health bars are falling quite dramatically. Nice deflect there from Speedly, stopping the axe damage going through. 50 meters is all that London Spitfire gained there, so Rain still in the lead. Double DPS ult, rally coming up. London Spitfire have only got that beat to utilize.
Maybe the fight goes on long enough with the sustain from the sound barrier and those support ultimates that Backbone can get the Blizzard, but Speedily first.
Look at his aggro. His tempo is looking good. Backbone's isolated. He's already used the wall. Maybe the block. Yeah, he goes down to Kai. This is definite butt scratch mode territory for the Atlanta Reign. And Vigilante's still sitting on that rally. London Spitfire have a beat to match if they really want to. With Backbone dead, it's only a 4-man beat for London, but Reign are going to utilize their rally, and the longer this fight goes on, the better it is for the Reign. That overhealth is just going to continually build, and look, Admiral's beat already faded, and his life to follow. 66 meters, butt scratch mode initiated for the Atlanta Reign. Vigilante just swinging. He is just going for it in this small corridor. And there's nothing left of the London Spitfire apart from the dead bodies.
Even with all the chaos happening in their room, Atlanta Reign were able to get that objective moving, and because of how long the fight took, it really felt like there wasn't a break in this progress either. Hawk now with the Rampage, OG with the sound barrier. I mean, Spitfire right now really need to just kind of like dig deep. They've got 4 minutes left to try to take it back.
I mean, that's a good start with the pick on Sakai. Oh, Speedy, that was aggro to a whole new level. I mean, I guess if you're the Atlanta Reign there, you see Kai dying that quickly, you're like, okay, well, we have forward spawns.
Yeah. I think you just have to go for the reset here. And look at that. We're going to be back to the neutral start of this map. And we still didn't see any ultimates from the Reign. So they've got those at their disposal to engage with.
Rampage hits 2. Sparker and Landon in trouble. They receive the commanding shout, but it's not enough. Well, Hawk just chases down Sparker. That speed boost stacking with a commanding shout is actually disgusting stuff. Nice little knife and an axe to the back. And Hawk still just destroying with these rampages. It's just been such a thorn in the side, or an axe in the side, I suppose, if you're the Junker Queen for the London Spitfire.
Jagged Blades basically have thorns, right? That's how that works?
Yeah, sure, yeah. Yeah.
But, I mean, this is a whole different look from the Reign. London Spitfire is still playing something that I would consider just like a off-the-cuff rush, and Reign taking it down super quickly.
Blizzard coming out. Speedy dives in with that blade, goes deep once again. Vigilante with the rally, looking to give people a concussion on the London Spitfire. However, Hardy just chilling up here on the high ground. But Atlanta Reign do step up. He can hit the Rampage. He sees fit. Looks like the Reign are more than happy just fight around that bot. Nice axe swing. Hits 1. There's the wall. Now Hawk in trouble. Separated from the rest of his team. Not before Vigilante and OG get through that wall is Hawk already dead. Kai also falls, and the Atlanta Reign, it may be scrappy. It's double supports versus the tank. Oh, saying that, not a support, it's Speedly. Kai ends up falling, and it's just a slugfest.
Oh
Vigilante, no way! No way! OG gets 2 boops there. Both Backbone and Hattie sent to the drink. What? What is with this corner? And just ridiculous plays, by the way. The Atlanta Reign, OG gets a double boop, an unbelievable amount of ult charge for that beat, plus extra meterage.
God, the swing of the tempo of that fight, like it was just a 3v3 standstill, and then all of a sudden OG opens everything up. Reign, they could just complete the map.
Kai's feeling himself, he pops that overclock. That Rampage was pretty good from London. Both beats utilized from both sides, but Speedly, look at that, already in the back. Sky goes deep and he goes hard, that is for sure. His first day in the Overwatch League looking mighty good, and a long legacy maybe to build for the young superstar. The Atlanta Reign with 150 meters plus, and London Spitfire with 50 seconds to go to keep them in this series.
What was Backbone doing? I mean, playing for a health pack, sure, but somebody on the Reign beat him to the punch, and now he's staggered. And so Reign, they get to go into this one with a player advantage until Backbone gets back.
There's a rally from Vigilante. Wise headshot onto OG. The bot's
right
close
there.
though. 0.9 meters. It's just Backbone and Speedly. Who is the 1v1? It's Backbone. And they do push the bot away. But Vigilante's still surviving. Same with Kai and Hawk. Might be good. If they can get out, they might be in a decent spot. But Hawk takes down Backbone. Spawns are decent from the London Spitfire, but Hawk once again just used that Rampage and hits 3. Both supports and Hardy go down to the Rampage. And in the final few moments, the Atlanta Reign managed to full cap Colosseo. A 3-1 against the London Spitfire. The Rain, they were down in the dumps. They come into today with a 1-2 scoreline in the qualifiers, but you best believe they clutch up when it matters.
I mean, after the double boop 2 from OG, man, I expected a bit more than a cheeky little smile from that player after making such a huge play. But that was just monumental to Atlanta Reign being able to take the full cap. But they've got to feel so good, too, that they finally got revenge onto the Spitfire.
Debut game is a win for Speedly. Must feel pretty damn good. You saw high fives in the camera. Let's have a look who our player of the matches, though, for this series. I think you can kind of already guess. Maybe some of you have guessed, maybe some of you haven't. It's going to be Hawk for this series. I mean, his rampages were just instrumental, Rose.
Yep.
We talked about the stat on Midtown. 10 rampage kills to Huddy's only 2. Like, Huddy couldn't really stand up to the king. That is Hawk right now.
No, it was tough too, and I think that this is also, you know, commendations to Hawk, because Hawk has really improved a lot with the Junker Queen. I think a lot of where Atlanta Reign started to struggle was just being able to find a way to make all of these pieces cohesive, and Hawk leading the charge once again on this Junker Queen. Like, you can see everything coming together now for the Reign. That was a really clean Coliseo from them, and they just looked better and better as the series progressed.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They look better and better. It's all up from here from the Reign, it feels like. They end up clutching a win here. 2-1. I say clutch it. It was kind of dominant at the very end. 2-2, their record in the qualifiers. They make it to the tournament. We know the damage the Atlanta Reign can do to those brackets. So they've not quite sealed the deal with a ticket to Toronto just yet, but they're in good stead to do so.
Yeah, I mean, this is what they needed. They needed a win to at least stay in the conversation of making it to that LAN. And now, you know, both teams are really looking like they're in a good spot. I think London Spitfire, they're not out of it yet. They can still get a couple more wins under their belt with the qualifiers that are left. But Atlanta definitely needed this one.
Yeah, they really did. Both teams now at 2-2 after that loss. The London Spitfire came in today at 2-1. We're going to jump to a quick break, but we've actually got an interview with Speedly coming up next, so we'll see you just in a sec.
On him. Lisa one.
Extra. You dead? I have ult. I found 3. Keep me up. Love it. Ulting. Lisa one. Okay.
I'm back.
Big one.
Fucking go, bro.
Let's fucking
Let's
go.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Upper Deck, the official trading card of the Overwatch League. And by TeamSpeak, the official voice supplier of the Overwatch League.
Hello guys and welcome to the Watchpoint Game Break. I'm taking over from Danny's because he took the host role, and I'm joined here by Speedily from the Atlanta Reign. First of all, big happy birthday and congratulations on the win.
Thank you, thank you.
No worries. All right, so first match, obviously there's going to be a lot of nerves. How do you think you performed? How do you think the match went?
I think I played okay other than my blades, obviously, but other than that, I'm pretty happy with my performance.
Is there something that the London Spitfire were like doing to like hurt your blades? Was it like the Mei from Backbone, or is it just like some of the passiveness from them?
Yeah, they definitely play different compared to most teams. They play a lot more passive, try to like punish aggression, and kind of forcing my blades a little bit too much. That was it.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it can always be hard going up against these kind of teams. And, you know, London Spitfire and the Atlanta Reign, you guys have a bit of a rivalry going on. There's a lot of beef going on Twitter right now. Were you guys confident heading into this match against them because you haven't beaten them so far this season?
Yeah, of course. We're definitely trying to be confident heading into every single match, even if it's like an opponent we've never beat before.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess my final question is, you know, obviously you've just come of age, you've spent a majority of this season stuck on the bench. How have you, I guess, stayed warm for this match and for this moment? Because a lot of people expected you to come into the team as soon as you did come of age.
Well, I only had like 3 days of scrim practice on Overwatch 2, so mainly just played Overwatch 1 to try to stay warm.
Okay, having lots of fun on Overwatch 1, I'm sure, right now. Well, Speedily, happy birthday, congratulations on the first win, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of you in the league.
Thank you.
Perfect, thanks, man. All right, let's bring it back to the desk. Danny, take over.
All right, Scott, thank you so much, and of course, big happy birthday to Speedily as well. Great, you know, debut match for him, and I think, like he said, he had some really good answers, and I think one of the things was that, like, you know, London sort of forcing out his blades, and I